what number podcast this is.
This is podcast number 6, Marissa.
Okay. Well, I know we've had some that we haven't been able to... Yeah.
Alright, well today's podcast is going to be a bit more informative. We're going to be talking about Marissa's knowledgeable in Feng Shui. She's been reading up on it lately. I've been knowledgeable in sacred geometry and essentially how crystals work with us, energetic-wise. So how about you start off with your Feng Shui?
Sure.
Let me ask you a question. How about this? What is Feng Shui?
All right. Well, Feng Shui is... Let me try to give some background to my... And I'm not an expert by all means, but...
You're going to be soon.
Yes, and it's my interest, and that's kind of how you become an expert, is you have an interest and you learn about it. So I graduated with a degree in interior design, so Feng Shui is pretty much designing your home or your space. So Man, you're putting me on the spot here.
I mean, if you want some time.
I'm better at writing it down, but I can try to explain it verbally. This will help me. So, spaces affect our energy, our moods. If you're looking at it through a holistic approach, it affects our physical bodies, our mental and emotional states, and then our spiritual. So...
And I can testify to this, because I wrote about it not too long ago, how keeping your house clean and organized, not cluttered, it helps mentally and physically. It makes you feel better. I swear,
Yeah.
I think everyone can pretty much attest to this, where after you clean something, you feel so much better.
Yeah, I actually was writing something about that too, how not only is it good for cleaning up the physical clutter, but energy flows a lot better through
But, Feng Shui is more than just, organization and stuff. Go on. It's
pretty intensive, so it's pretty much saying how the space you're in affects you, but you also affect the space. So you're working in kind of harmony or disharmony depending on how your space is arranged. So, and you can think about it as how spaces affect us. No one really likes to go to a hospital. And you look at the design of a hospital and it's white walls, starchness, it's very cold and unfriendly, and just also the energy in there, everyone's sick. So, but getting back to Feng Shui, so how you arrange your space can affect certain changes, or if you want to improve something in your life, how you arrange your space can help you achieve that, because it's the energy in your space. So, for example, if you want to bring more love into your space, there's a lot of ways to do it, and it's hard to explain it in a podcast because there's so much that goes into it.
I mean, does this involve some images that would help?
Yeah.
So how about I say right now that I will add those images to the article that this will be on at our website, consciousoms.wordpress.com, for anyone that wants to see these. So if when you talk about something specific, if I can find a picture, I will add it on there.
Well, because there's Feng Shui has magic key numbers, so it's a 9-numbered grid, and that's how you look at your space. So it's also directional. You think about a map, and you have energies that come in from each direction, and those energies can help you bring about certain things into your life. So, for example, the south energy is governed by element of fire. You have 5 elements: fire, water, soil, wood, and metal. Yeah, and also the directions as well influence it, and colors as well as materials. It's all about energy. There's yang energy, which is more masculine and sharp and really raises the vibrations of a space, and there's yin energy, which calms and relaxes you. So it's really extensive.
Yeah, we're not going to go too in depth. Yeah. Just, the introduction to Feng Shui, essentially.
Yeah, so say you want to become more noticed and be more expressive, to have more passion in your life. That is focused on the element of fire and the direction of south. So souths, each direction has an element associated with it. So souths is fire. So you would want to add candles because that symbolizes the fire energy. You want a lot of angled like zigzag patterns, you want red and purple colors, because that all stimulates this fire energy. And placing that in the south corner can help you be more expressive, help you get noticed. So that's one aspect. It also gets an extensive as you each have a designated key number, which is your chi. And it's kind of like astrology, the Western astrology. It's just the Chinese astrology and the zodiac. So it all depends on your birthday and the year as well. So you get 3 numbers, and it's really freaking hard to explain all this, but I guess what do you want to know, more or less? Maybe I can help kind of direct.
So you told me a little bit about like what each corner represents. How about you talk about that?
Okay, so we'll start north. North represents spirituality. It is a yin energy, so it's calming. It helps you relax. So it's a good direction to sleep in. You want to, like, especially if you have problems sleeping already.
Do you want to put your head near it?
Because when you sleep, you're more open to energy and vibrations. It was kind of cool how they were explaining this in the book, but especially with people in short hair, you can see the kind of swirl that happens in the hairline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's like that energy radiating out. So it's also, your crown chakra, and you are more susceptible, and it opens up at night. So whichever direction you're facing, you will absorb more of that energy at night.
Oh, that's interesting, because I face south.
Now look at you, you're such an expressive person already.
I mean, like, it's crazy because, I can't face north, though. I did for a while, and I became introverted, which is just interesting. I became more introverted than I'm usually an extrovert, and for a while I was pretty introverted.
That's very cool. That just kind of shows, like...
Wow. And, I just did that whole thing today. But getting back to the point is that I've heard that you shouldn't face your head towards a window.
Yeah, windows and doors have a lot of energy coming and going from a space. So if your head is facing a window, your energy is more susceptible to leaving.
Yeah, that's why I can't face north, because my window covers the north side. So for those that don't have windows on the north, if you want to chill out more, face the north.
And there are other ways, because sometimes, the layout of your house kind of makes it hard to achieve that perfect balance, like, sleeping north if you have a window right there.
Mm-hmm.
So there are other ways to do that by adding more of one element to a certain area of your room.
Okay, so we just explained the north being, a lot more chiller, spirituality stuff, south being fire, more activity, getting yourself to. So how about east and west?
So east is for self-esteem. It helps build confidence. It also helps you grow. Let's see. And west is they focus a lot about it with harvest. So it is like a playful energy. It's also, you think about it as the setting sun. You're reaping your rewards. So it's a place where a lot of money corners is the west. Mm-hmm. That's what I read. You want to place, if you want to attract more abundance and wealth, you place your savings or, where you keep your cash in the west.
Damn, my room sucks.
I mean, it's good for, bringing in that west. It's also good for creativity, the west. So that's what that's for. The southwest is more grounding energy. That element is earth. So it helps you with building strong relationships. That's where a good love corner would be.
The northwest?
Southwest.
Southwest? Okay.
Yeah, that's where my love corner is. You want to have a lot of that soil or earth energy. So
I sleep on the southwest.
Oh. So you have... Well, and you have good relationships, I'd say.
Yeah?
I mean, maybe not...
romantic, but
it's...
in general.
Yeah, don't think about it as that,
Just relationships in general is what you're saying, is that corner is good for.
Yeah, but also, that... The energy associated with it is just being comfortable, being settled, building something quantity over quality.
Oh, yeah.
So it doesn't have to mean relationships, even though some people focus on that in that corner. It could mean, you want to develop maybe a certain skill.
Oh, okay.
Really building that and being comfortable in.
So maybe like you could also think of a relationship in terms of like your relation to a specific skill set.
Yeah.
That could work.
So like if you maybe are learning about, I don't know, picking up a hobby and you want to really advance and become knowledgeable in that, maybe having your desk in that corner where you can really develop those skills.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Okay, so we just covered all the essentially the 4 cardinal directions.
Yeah, and then there's like northwest.
Yeah,
southeast.
I mean, like, there's another time for that.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, so when it comes to colors, I'm assuming it's like, in general, what we already know about most colors, like how they affect you psychologically and stuff?
Yeah, it deals, and it's cool when I was reading this, because it's all just this interwoven, holistic way of looking at things, like the energy, but also color psychology, because I remember doing some of that.
Yeah, so I'm assuming like red is more romance, blue is like chill out, yellow is like stimulating happiness, but like can be overstimulating if you use it too much.
Mm-hmm.
Orange is creativity.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at it with your chakras too.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but each corner has a specific color.
Oh, so what are they?
Well, the north being the calming color.
Blue?
Actually, it's black and
Really?
grays and whites.
Oh, okay, I could see that.
Yeah. Also, it deals with like shapes. So, and the element's water. So, having maybe pictures of sea life or some of that element there. South is deep purples and reds. East is, I believe, green. So just like representing
Really, that's
growth.
funny. I would think green would be west, considering that's where you said like essentially a lot of people put their money and stuff.
Yeah, actually, I was reading that and it's yellow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, what a twist.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's very elaborate. I can see why. It's like one of the 5 sacred master arts in like
Feng shui.
Yeah, in Chinese metaphysics.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm like, wow.
Okay, so like, yeah, colors and stuff, I feel like we get a good... Oh, what's south?
Oh, that's the one I said was the dark purples.
Oh, okay.
And, the reds.
But you said something really interesting. You said fabrics.
Yeah. Materials, actually.
Yeah, okay, so explain that.
So, softer fabrics absorb more energy, and they help ground the energy. So, say for your north, you'd want a lot of softer fabrics there to help absorb that peaceful energy while you sleep. If you're looking for being more energetic in your south, you'd want more glossy not fabrics, but materials to stimulate and to keep the energy kind of flowing.
Mm-hmm.
So materials also play into effect.
Cool. Anything else about Feng Shui that you want to talk about? That you find interesting yourself? I mean, I'm just asking you questions.
I'm trying to think of, because I've been reading it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome, it makes so much sense. Not that I can think of. I mean, it's better, I guess, if people have questions that can be like, oh,
you should definitely write an article on it. So.
Yeah, and if anyone has any questions about Feng Shui, do we have an email?
We have, if anyone wants to ask any questions, we have a Tumblr for that.
Oh, yeah.
It's Conscious Oms Tumblr, so just look us up on Tumblr and you can ask questions there, and we'll definitely respond, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and like also adding crystals, even though that doesn't really dive into Feng Shui as much, but crystals also help achieve certain things. Like if you want, wealth, citrine is a good one.
Yeah.
Putting that in your wealth corner if you want to bring.
So how about you give an example for crystals to put in each one of the 4 corners or one of the 4 sides?
Yeah.
So citrine's good for the west, right?
Yeah, citrine's good for the west. For the north, if you want, peaceful energy, amethyst is a good one. If you want to be more expressive in south, like carnelian would be good. And east, for just self-confidence and growth.
Malachite? Is malachite one?
Yeah, malachite.
Smoky quartz? Definitely smoky quartz, right? No?
Let's see, in my east corner right now, I have a lot of candles also as well. Even though that's associated with fire. I'm sorry, I'm not talking about crystals anymore, but because elements can strengthen other elements. It's
cool.
Really kind of complicated. That's why it's hard to do a podcast. But fire strengthens earth. So
really, and you would.
Yeah,
I would think it's the opposite because like it just kind of burns everything.
Yeah. And then there's some that actually like destroy the other element. So.
But surprisingly enough, fire helps earth.
Yeah, so it's like water supports wood. Wood supports fire.
Yeah,
fire supports earth. Earth supports metal. Metal supports water.
So what's metal about? I've known earth, fire, water. I thought it'd be wind.
Yeah, right?
But it's not. It's
no.
wood and
it's
wood and metal.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why that is yet, but...
Well, if you don't know, then when you do know,
I'm still
write
learning,
it down.
But it'll be... I don't know, it's something that hopefully I want to make into a career, like, really get involved in energy of spaces, because I already love designing them, so just to help people kind of achieve what they want due to the energy.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Well, since we kind of got on the subject of crystals,
yeah,
I think it'd be good to transition to talking about crystals, which can then help transition into sacred geometry, because you can use them, just like how you can use them in Feng Shui, you can use them for sacred geometry.
Yeah.
So crystals, let me explain what I've learned is how they work, right? So our bodies have an electromagnetic field themselves. You can look at it in terms of an aura, your Merkaba, your torus, your heart's electromagnetic field.
Life energy, like ki.
Yeah, like
chi, I guess.
All that stuff. It's all basically the same thing.
Yeah.
The fact is that, you have energy running through you, right? Chakras.
Yeah.
So what crystals do when you use them properly, and it's really hard to not use them properly, because they kind of do the stuff for you subconsciously.
Yeah.
The idea is that our energies, they're very complex. We have a lot of stuff running through us in and out all the time. Mm-hmm. So whenever that energy becomes imbalanced, we can get sick, we can have crazy mental stuff going on, just a lot of chaos in general when our energies become imbalanced. When chakras don't work efficiently, when they get blocked, or your aura gets filled with a lot of negative energy. Essentially what crystals help to do is help balance that back. So crystals coming from Earth, usually through volcanoes, or just quartz is grown underground in caves and stuff. Quartz is a very abundant stone in general. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of it. So they resonate with the Earth's electromagnetic field, and so do we. We interact with the Earth as well. But crystals have a geometry that is structured pretty much perfectly, right? So they're very well balanced. They can never become imbalanced. What they do when you decide to buy one, take one in your pocket, put it in your room, they help balance out the energies in that area or yourself. They interact with your electromagnetic field and help to, let's say you have a block in your specific chakra, you find a stone that's good for that chakra, and it'll help balance that out. That's essentially how crystals work. That's healing crystals. That's how they work as well. I mean, crystals, they're all healing in general.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
I mean, I'm pretty familiar with crystals too, but it's, the sacred geometry part. I've always, even when people come into the shop, it's not my thing. I'm more about making the grids and doing pairings, but getting into sacred
But grids can work with sacred geometry as well.
They can. Most of the time I don't make my grids with sacred geometry, but because you're very big into sacred geometry.
That's how I started.
Yeah, so I could totally ask you questions about that.
Go ahead.
Alright, so I guess, first off, what is sacred geometry?
So, I feel like there are multiple ways to explain what sacred geometry is. But essentially, sacred geometry is nature's geometry, as in how everything is created in the universe. Because when you look at it, and you can actually find this, a lot of scientific studies have found that when you get to the smaller and smaller particles, you get to the atom, then you get to the stuff that makes the atom itself. it's all geometry. And it's really cool when you see the pictures, just like a bunch of triangles and like a bunch of different shapes. And they're in a specific pattern. So sacred geometry is the study of nature's geometry and how it's all put together. So, for example, the flower of life. The flower of life is made up when you use circles, and it's hard when I can't, once again.
Yeah, I know, right?
Once again, the I will have to add, and I actually wrote an article on this, so
yeah.
If you want to look for that, that's on our website under energy, under sacred geometry. I actually have a post on the seed of life and the flower of life. They're both, essentially a similar thing. It's just the seed of life is what starts the flower of life. Seed starts the flower.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of creation, and this is like a little edgy topic to talk about, but it kind of works. When it comes to the idea of creation, in terms of like Christianity, Catholicism, how everything was created, you know how you have like God worked the 6 days and on the 7th day he rested? Well, when you use the seed of life, you actually see how that works. You have the center circle, which is essentially nothing. It's just spirit just sitting there. There's no left or right, up or down. Because there's nothing relative to it, right? So it creates this circle. And it's, that's the first thing it creates. It's not the first day yet. It's not the first day. It's just, it has to create something because it wants to create something. And since spirit, or let's say energy is flawless when it moves, nature is flawless, right? Mm-hmm. It will create another circle that perfectly intersects that circle to create a Venn diagram. Am I right on this? A Venn diagram type of shape. Yeah. So 2 circles, within each other, and that actually forms the Vesica Pisces. The Vesica Pisces is that, how can I describe that seed looking thing in between?
It's the in-between of the Venn diagram?
Yes, exactly. So that holds a lot of proportions when it comes to mathematical stuff. That's also essentially the shape of the vagina, which is interesting. You can look into that. And also like where you can actually look at it in terms of the eye, and how light was created, stuff like that. It's really a lot that I could go into right now, but this is just, I'm trying to make this fast.
Yeah.
So after the first 2 circles, that's the first day. The first day, let there be light. That was the first day. Then the second or the third circle that comes up creates the Holy Trinity, which there's too much to go into that, but you can see the Holy Trinity within that. And it continues to make this pattern going around the first circle until it gets to the 7th circle, and that is when, the rest happened, essentially. The seed was created. Mm-hmm. And if you continue that pattern, you will get the flower of life. Uh-huh. You can actually see this. It's pretty cool. Once you get to a certain, I think it's 13 circles that go around, you can actually see the egg of life. No, actually you can see that in the seed of life, I think. The egg of life, it's 8 circles. And this is actually, if you look at how cells multiply when, let's say, like a baby's being made, mm-hmm. we actually follow that. Like that shape, the cells,
really?
And you can look up a video on this. The cells divide in that specific way, and they make the egg of life. It's cool stuff.
Yeah, like when you were saying seeing it through nature, like I'm known to see the Fibonacci sequence, mm-hmm. and those shells and mm-hmm. pine cones.
Yeah, pine cones.
But yeah, I've never really seen the flower of life in it, but I guess on molecular level.
Mitosis. Yes, mitosis. Is that mitosis?
Yeah, biology was so long ago for
me. Right? I'm not an expert in biology. So that's how the flower of life works. Fibonacci sequence, you mentioned pine cones. That's actually 2 Fibonacci spirals put together, just 180 degrees apart. So you get one spiral going one way and the other spiral goes the opposite way. You can actually see that in a pine cone.
Okay, so we've talked about the Fibonacci sequence and the flower and seed of life. So what other sacred geometry forms are there?
Metatron's cube, which is essentially our logo.
Yeah.
Metatron's cube was named after the archangel Metatron. I don't remember why specifically.
Well, okay. Brief little note, because I was reading about Metatron, I didn't know about Metatron, but he was actually the prophet Enoch.
Really?
Yeah. He was the only prophet that could talk directly to God, and he became an archangel.
Yeah, because he was like, when he was, was he human?
Yes.
He was the first human to become an archangel, right?
Yep. I think one of the only. I think there's maybe one other one, but...
Yeah.
Just a little cool side note that I picked up. But yes, continue about Metatron's cube.
So Metatron's cube is the flower of life, and the flower of life with, so, then I have to talk about male and female lines. So... Male lines are just straight lines, jagged lines with corners, because male energy tends to be, and this has nothing to do with gender.
Yeah.
We name these because that's how we understand them. Male energy is very direct. It's straightforward. It gets to the point. So that's why male lines are straight.
Yes.
Female energy is a lot more creative, a lot more spontaneous. So circles, I don't know how I could say that a circle is creative, but there's no structure to it, essentially. It's, it's a never-ending curve.
Yeah, it's curves, and I'm getting back to male, female, literally, like in the woman body. Like, That's how we see that. Also, male could be yang energy, female could be yin energy. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how it's seen in fashion.
And so, we have male and female energy within us at all times. Mm-hmm. It's when we have that imbalance that, if a guy has too much male energy, he's very, macho and, the dick.
Yeah.
And when a female has a lot of female energy, it's going to be, very emotional, kind of, what we call, crazy.
Pieces.
Yeah, exactly. So, when you have those imbalances, bad things happen. So, Metatron's cube is the perfect balance of both. It not only has male lines, it also has female lines that are circles. And what you do is, in order to make Metatron's cube, is you get the circles. I don't know how to explain this. When it comes to making this, you set the circles up in a specific way where they are where you can connect male lines and create a hexagon from their centers. You start from the center of each circle and connect that line to the center of another circle. Mm-hmm. And the first thing that you should make is a hexagon. Then it goes on to crossing paths and a bunch of other things. But Metatron's cube holds all the platonic solids in it. When you connect the female lines with the male lines, all the platonic solids can be found in Metatron's cube.
Okay, so what are
the platonic solids? Are it's been a while since I've described sacred geometry. Platonic solids are the five.
Yeah, they're 5, I think.
5 main shapes. The reason why they're called platonic solids is because all sides are equal as well as their angles. So platonic solids, for example, would be a cube, a pyramid, a dodecahedron.
Oh. No. Because at the shop someone was asking about the platonic solids, and I am no expert, so
a dodecahedron, a hexahedron, and there's one more. Oh, and the sphere.
Yeah.
So those are the 5 main ones. So Metatron's cube holds all of those, and that's what builds all of everything on this earth, all the physical, all the matter is made up of this, and it's been proven. There was a study done by some professor, I can't remember the name, I'll try and find and I'll link this, in the article that we're going to post, at the University of Chicago. He actually proved how all the elements in the periodic table actually correspond with the platonic solids. What? It was really interesting. Yeah.
That's cool that Metatron's cube contains all the platonic solids, which is what we use to build everything else. Metatron being known as the architect or the builder of the universe.
Isn't that cool?
That is.
Right? It all just kind of makes sense.
All connects.
So that's Metatron's cube. That's really the main things that you can learn. There's more stuff. You can get into a bunch of other things, but those are the main ones.
Would you consider the Merkaba sacred geometry?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the structure of your energetic body.
Yeah.
Of your energy field.
I'm just wondering, because I know there are sacred symbols which are geometric, like the pentacle, pentagram, but that's not considered sacred geometry. It's just a symbol.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if they consider that sacred geometry. I haven't really looked into those.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it has sacred geometry elements in it,
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the, I don't know, symbols that I've always kind of connected with, or the Trinity, but that could be the third day of creation, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I've written articles on the seed of life, the flower of life, and Metatron's cube, and they can all be found on our website, consciousoms.wordpress.com, if anyone wants to learn more about that. But yeah, that's basically, I guess, a good intro to what all this stuff is. I mean, you know, I already wrote about it. Yeah. You can learn more about it through there. But that's essentially the main sacred geometry. Like the Sri Yantra, you could go into that. Mm-hmm. What other one is there? The Taurus, you could go into that, which is mostly what I know about is just mostly like our energy field. It basically, think of a donut. Yeah. So you start from the center and you go up and around and down and then come back up to that center. Mm-hmm. You know, the shape of a donut. And that's how our energy field works as well. Not only does it go up and up, down, and back to the center, it also spins while it's doing that.
Yeah, and Earth has a torus as well.
Mm-hmm. Earth's electromagnetic field is a torus. You can also see the torus shaped in an apple, in an orange, and I think those are the two main ones that you can find. I'm sure there's other stuff, but I haven't really looked into it too much. The torus is interesting. They're starting to think that maybe the universe has like a torus shape to it. Wow. Not essentially like it's pretty much flat with some waves, but like the energy of it itself too. Yeah.
Very neat.
Mm-hmm. But that's like a really young study. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the basics of crystals, how crystals work, and sacred geometry. Oh, and to connect those two together, you can actually use sacred geometry to enhance how crystals work. So when you use crystal grids, mm-hmm. you can shape them in the form of, let's say, like a hexagon, like Metatron's cube, or what's another good example? Like a triangle. You know, any one of those basic shapes.
Yeah.
And it not only structures the energy, but it allows the energy to flow in that natural geometric pattern, which strengthens it as well. It emphasizes that energy.
Yeah, a lot of times I do, like, when wanting protection or like a foundation, doing a square or something, because that's your...
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, I do that, not so much like the sacred geometry, but geometry in general when making your grids. Mm-hmm. Very cool. And I guess, like, since you're talking about links to the sacred geometry, I'll put them up. I've written a thing, not quite about Feng. It has to do with the energy of your space. Mm-hmm. So, one is how plants improve your energy of your space, and just how to raise your vibrations.
Right, we can link all this stuff to your...
Yeah, because, I mean, Feng Shui is pretty intense, but if you think about it, maybe breaking it down just like, okay, how do I want to raise the energy of my space? Not looking at it in Feng Shui, because that's very...
Yeah, you don't have to be a master
detailed.
To organize your room accordingly.
Yeah, but if you're looking to just better your vibrations... Mm-hmm.
So, let the energy flow better, the chi.
Yeah. And cleaning is another, like...
Oh, cleaning is great.
Yeah. I could just talk about how great cleaning is for your space.
All right, so do you have any questions that you might have thought of up when I was talking about sacred geometry? Or are we good to go?
No, I mean, that makes a lot more sense now.
So you kind of... So, like, you yourself have learned some things today.
Yeah, I mean, I know you talked to me about it before, but... Like, I watched that video about sacred geometry. I was like, what? But no, it's...
Yeah, it's a lot of left brain.
It is. It's a little too much left brain for me. But no, like, I'm getting it better, especially with the flower of life.
Yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff. And you really... So, you can learn about it, you know, by reading stuff all the time. But when you start to draw it is when you really... see how
the connections.
Things are connected. It's crazy. I did that and I was like, wow, I never realized that this can connect to this in this way and that like that, and how they all like structure and support each other. It's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess we're good to go.
Yeah. So just if you have any more questions about the podcast, feel free to
ask them on our Tumblr or even on the articles, the specific articles that we have up on the website already.
Yeah, let us know, and we'll be happy to inform you.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. I always like talking about this stuff.
Yeah, and, you know, if we don't know something, it helps us kind of grow and learn new things as well.
Yeah, exactly. If anyone has any new information, or even if we're wrong in some specific way, let us know, because that'd be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to, I mean, because, like, you know, we want to give out the best information possible.
Exactly.
So, All right, well, just a side note, I think these podcasts are pretty much always going to be up on Saturdays now.
Yeah, probably now. Or the weekends, Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, so look for our podcast on Saturdays or Sundays. Pretty much weekly. We've been able to keep it weekly when we don't have technical issues.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this has been fun, feng shui, crystals, and sacred geometry with Omar and Marissa.
Yeah, intro.
Yeah, we'll find out next week what we're going to talk about, but you guys have a good time.